different approach to what we've seen over the last 4 years, and I hope you will agree that it is a better way. So I want to leave you with my vision for Montana. My vision for Montana is a strong economy coupled with a healthy environment. It's a vision where our well-educated college graduates find great paying jobs right here in Montana. It's a vision of better government, not bigger government. It's a vision where government is less intrusive in our lives. And it's a vision where our strong Montana traditions of faith, family, and freedom are respected, protected, and defended. I want you to join me in that vision, and we will build a better Montana. Thank you very much. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless Montana. I guess we have time for a few questions. If someone would like to try to step up to the mic so we can...
If I could just not use the mic, I think that people can hear me. I'm sorry, I just didn't hear me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, Senator Brown, I want to thank you for coming today. I think it's a feather in the cap of the Nonprofit Association that we have you and Governor Schweitzer coming to speak to us today. Secondly, as you were a successful small businessman, you do know that you can't cut off revenue streams without finding some other revenue. And I simply don't think economic growth in Montana is going to replace cut taxes. So, if you're not in favor of cutting taxes and you want to see income taxes reduced, are you in favor of sales tax?
Well, thank you for that question. Now, I guess my premise, I would disagree with your premise in the first place. If you will look at the past in Montana, even back to the 70s and the 80s, Montana worked on a tax and spend philosophy, and every time we needed more money, we raised taxes, and then we spent it all, and then we raised taxes some more, and we spent it all. And pretty soon we went from prosperity to poverty. In the mid-1990s, we decided to take a different approach, and that was cutting taxes. And what did that do? Well, we cut the business equipment tax, we cut the oil and gas taxes, we eliminated the death tax, we reduced the income tax and the capital gains rate. What did that do? It created the biggest budget surplus in the history of Montana. There were so much more money available in the mid-2000s than there were at the beginning of the time when we started cutting taxes. So we cut taxes, we have more revenue. So your premise in the first place, I disagree with. But your question about a sales tax. Now, we don't have a revenue problem in Montana. We have plenty of revenue. What we have is a spending problem. So we have to look at the spending side of things. Revenues are coming in. I am not going to be focused on any new taxes, in which a sales tax would be. And there's an old saying about sales taxes, and there's an old saying about native Montanans. There are two ways to be a native Montanan. Either you were born here, or you voted at least twice against a sales tax. And it's a cultural thing in Montana. I look at things in ways that I think I can change. I think I can do something about property taxes. I think I can do something about the business equipment tax so that our economy can keep going. The sales tax is not an issue that I believe that we are going to change during the near future. The people of Montana have spoken about it many times, and they don't like it, so that's where I stand on that. I'll go with the people of Montana.
All right, I will use the mic. Senator Brown, I'm Sheila Rice. I work with a number of housing agencies across the state. And in the last 6 months, I've heard from folks in Sanders County and Baker, Montana, and the Tobacco Valley around Eaglaka, all the way down to, Eureka, and the and all the way down to West Yellowstone. And what I'm hearing across the state is that economic growth is limited due to the lack of affordable housing. Montana is one of a handful of states that does not support housing with state dollars. And I'm wondering about your opinion of whether or not we should be putting state dollars to encourage economic development by development of workforce housing?
Well, I can tell you one of the reasons why Montanans can't afford housing is because they don't have a good enough job to pay for a house. And this goes right back to what I said in my speech. We need to get those higher paying jobs in Montana so that they can afford to do so. And it shouldn't be just focused in the large cities. Places you're talking about are outside the large cities where people are really struggling to get by. So the best way to get people to be able to afford housing is to have a better job. And part of the problem that the housing costs are too high for people are government regulations saying that this, and this has to be input into the basic cost of a house. And those kind of things are driving up the cost, making them much more unaffordable for people in Montana. Those are the kind of things that we can do to solve that problem. Yes, ma'am.
I have a daughter who will graduate this coming spring in secondary education. She has stated she will not even apply any place in the state for a job. You've expressed your concern on that, and you're very aware of the problem that we have in even recruiting and retaining teachers. So I guess I want to know, what are your specific measures for helping our schools be able to pay our teachers a competitive salary? And I guess especially I kind of want to know your measures, since we all know that property taxes are the main way that our schools pay, that our schools pay our teachers and administrators.
Well, property taxes don't pay most of the cost of schools anymore. It's because it doesn't add up to enough money to do it, and so most of it's coming from income taxes and from the general fund. But at the same time, your basic question is absolutely correct. We have our kids graduating from college here, and they can't afford to stay here because they have the huge student loan debt. I have a proposal which I call, let's give our kids here tax credit, where a business in Montana can hire the graduating student and help pay off their college loan debt and get a tax credit for it, which keeps them here. But specifically for teachers, I also have a teacher signing bonus proposal that I'm putting forward, in which each teacher over a 3-year period would get $10,000 as a signing bonus to stay here in Montana. Now, I don't know whether that will help much, but I know that in rural communities, they cannot get teachers at all to go to the small cities, and there is really no incentive for teachers to go there, especially with what they're going to get paid. So the teacher signing bonus could help about that too. But basically, if we want to solve the problem that we have with our teachers and with our jobs in Montana, is we need to develop our natural resources so those higher paying jobs are there, so that there are more resources for state government through those resource taxes to pay for the things that we want. One more? Okay.
Senator Brown, thanks for coming. I'm Tina Covich, Big Brothers Big Sisters in Great Falls. One of the questions, because nonprofits do require so much community involvement and leadership, could you share with us some of your experience working with the nonprofit sector and how you feel that will lend itself to strengthening the sector in Montana should you be elected?
Well, I have done a lot of work with St. Vincent de Paul in their efforts to help the needy around the Billings area. I also have been involved with the Billings Catholic Schools organization and their fundraising efforts, and I know what goes on with each one of you. At least you have 3 or 4 or maybe a dozen different fundraising efforts each year to try and get the money that you need to carry on during the process, and it's not easy. And I've been chairman of some of those things that have gone on. My wife has been involved with various organizations like the Rimrock Opera Company and like the Moss Mansion, Billings Preservation Society. So it's, government doesn't always have the answers. It's people coming together and volunteering and taking the time to help. And I know that really, those are my personal experiences in it, and I know that you have a difficult time, and I'll do whatever I can to help out, to make sure our economy is strong so that people will help donate. In the past, I've seen, especially in Billings, we go through a cycle where there are so many things that happen for the nonprofit organizations, especially when the economy is doing well. People are very generous when they're doing that, and then that helps us carry over for the times when they aren't. We have to continue doing that. So thank you for that question. Thank you very much, all of you today. It'll be my honor to be your next governor.